You wake up with no plans to spend any money today. By tonight, you've ordered food, bought something online that wasn't on your shopping list, and picked up a few extra things at the supermarket. You don't even remember making some of those decisions. So here's the question: did you choose to spend that money? Or did someone else quietly make that decision for you? It sounds like a conspiracy, but it isn't. Around the world, companies invest billions every year studying one thing: not their products, not their competitors, but your brain. They study how your attention works, how your emotions influence decisions, and what makes you reach for your wallet without even thinking. And here's the unsettling part: most of these techniques are completely invisible. You won't notice them while they're happening. In fact, you'll probably believe every purchase was entirely your own idea. By the end of this video, you'll see shopping in a completely different way. The supermarket, the shopping mall, your favorite app, even the notifications on your phone. They all begin to look less like places to buy things and more like carefully designed systems built to influence your behavior. I'm Miles, and welcome to Habitual Cash, where we make finance simple. Let's start with something that seems completely ordinary. Imagine you've just finished work. You're tired, hungry, and you stop at the supermarket because you only need one thing: a loaf of bread, 5 minutes. That's all you expect, but somehow, 20 minutes later, you're standing at the checkout with crisps, chocolate, soft drinks, frozen pizza, and a few special offers you never planned to buy. How did one loaf of bread become an entire shopping basket? Most people blame themselves. I have no self-control, I need more discipline. But that's rarely the real reason. The truth is, long before you walked through those automatic doors, someone had already planned your journey. Notice where the essentials usually are: bread, milk, eggs. They're almost never near the entrance. Instead, they're hidden at the back of the store. Why? Because every extra step you take is another chance to notice something colorful, something discounted, or something that suddenly feels impossible to leave behind. The longer you stay, the more likely you are to spend. That's not an opinion. It's a strategy, and once you see it, you'll never walk through a supermarket the same way again. But the store isn't finished with you yet. Just as you're about to leave, something interesting happens. You're forced to wait. The checkout line, look around: chocolate, chewing gum, cold drinks, magazines, tiny gadgets. They're not there because they fit. They're there because this is the moment your brain is at its weakest. You've spent the last 20 minutes making decision after decision. Which cereal? Which juice? Which brand? Which size? Every choice drains a little mental energy. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. When your brain gets tired, resisting temptation becomes harder. So adding one chocolate bar doesn't feel like a big decision. It's only a few pounds. But imagine millions of shoppers thinking exactly the same thing every single day. That's how tiny purchases quietly become enormous profits. Now let's leave the supermarket. Open your phone. You search for a pair of trainers. You don't buy them. A few minutes later, you open YouTube. There's the advert. Then Instagram, the same trainers. Facebook, still there. News websites, again. It almost feels like your phone is reading your mind. In reality, something even more interesting is happening. Companies know most people don't buy the first time they see something, so instead of trying once, they simply refuse to let you forget.
Day after day, screen after screen.
The same product quietly follows you around the internet. Eventually, something changes. The product begins to feel familiar, and our brains naturally trust what's familiar. Psychologists call this the mere exposure effect. Nothing about the trainers improved. You simply became more comfortable with seeing them. Sometimes, familiarity is all it takes to create desire, but if there's one emotion companies understand better than almost any other, it's fear. Think about these messages. Only 2 left. Sale ends tonight. 30 people are viewing this item. Whether completely accurate or not, they all create the same feeling. Hurry, don't miss out, buy now. Because once we believe something is becoming scarce, our brains stop asking, do I need this? Instead, they ask, what if I lose this opportunity? That's called the scarcity effect, and it's one of the strongest psychological triggers in marketing. The fear of missing something often becomes stronger than the desire to make a smart decision. Now here's a trick that's even more subtle. Imagine you're shopping for a jacket hot. The first one cost £400. You immediately think, that's ridiculous. Then you notice another one beside it, 180 pounds. Suddenly it feels reasonable, maybe even cheap. But compared to what? Yesterday, you would never have spent 180 pounds on a jacket. Nothing changed except the comparison. Your brain wasn't judging the price, it was judging the difference. This is called anchoring, and companies use it everywhere, from restaurants to clothing stores to online subscriptions. Sometimes the expensive option isn't there to sell, it's there to make the next option look irresistible. Now think about luxury brands. Why would someone spend thousands on a watch that tells the same time as one costing 50 pounds? Because they aren't buying time, they're buying identity, dats, confidence, staxis, belonging. The world's biggest brands rarely sell products, they sell stories. A luxury car isn't about getting from one place to another, it's about freedom, achievement. Respect. A phone isn't just technology, it's who you are. Companies understand something incredibly important. People buy emotionally, then justify their decisions logically. That's why advertisements make you feel something long before they tell you anything. And finally, there's the easiest trick of them all, making paying feel almost painless. Years ago, buying something meant opening your wallet and physically handing over cash. You felt the money leaving your hands. Today, one tap, one fingerprint, one face scan, done. The easier paying becomes, the less your brain notices the cost. The money disappears just as quickly. Only now, it happens almost silently. None of these techniques are illegal. Many businesses simply use psychology to present their products more effectively. The problem begins when we stop making conscious decisions and start reacting automatically, because every unnecessary purchase has an invisible cost, not just the money you spend today, but the investments you never made, the emergency fund you never built, the freedom you delayed. Here's the truth that changed the way I think about money. Financial freedom isn't won in one big decision, it's built through thousands of tiny ones. Every time you pause before buying, every time you ask, would I still want this if it weren't on sale? Every time you wait one day before making an impulse purchase, you're taking control back, because the companies aren't going to stop trying to influence you. Their job is to increase sales. Your job is to protect your future. And once you understand how the game is played, you're no longer just another customer. You're someone who can finally make decisions with intention instead of emotion. If this video changed the way you think about spending, let me know in the comments which psychological trick surprised you the most. If you enjoyed learning with me, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Habitual Cash, and join me, Miles, for more videos that make finance simple. Until next time, remember this. The easiest money you'll ever earn is often the money you choose not to spend.